This lockdown has done it for me. Before we locked down, I was sort of all right. I had all the weekdays to myself while he was at work. I couldn't go anywhere, mind. He had the keys. He even took the keys to the windows. I wonder what would happen if there was a fire. Not that there was anything to catch fire. He took my fags and lighter to work with him. Everything else of mine was in his safe. My phone, my passport, my bank card, even my chocolate. And the brick. The brick was always in there when he wasn't in. He was such a nice bloke when I met him. Well, he seemed it. I'd never met a man that seemed to be so interested in me. I'd been a bit unlucky with blokes, really, so it was a nice change. He liked coming shopping with me. I used to love swishing about in front of him, trying on lovely dresses. I loved how he took such an interest. Before I knew it, though, I had no say in what I wore. He chose everything. I used to like a nice pair of jeans, but I'm not allowed them now. It's funny, because it all happened very gradually and I never really noticed. Till it was too late, of course. Just little changes at the beginning, all done with a smile. I should have twigged when he started weighing me, just to check that my clothes still fit me. He was a bit funny about me going to work, though. He wanted to know who I'd been talking to, especially blokes. He kept saying that I should finish, but I used to love going to work. I mean, work's not all about money, is it? I shared an office with Simone. We both started on the same day, and we really got on. We talked about everything. She didn't like him, though. She tried to say stuff, but I didn't listen. In the end, we sort of fell out about it, so we just never mentioned him. But things were never the same. It was a shame because we used to laugh before that. We'd even go into town on Saturdays, as if we hadn't seen enough of each other. We used to go in the bar, order a bottle of wine and 2 glasses, and we'd be away. We'd call everybody from a pig to a dog, and we'd laugh and laugh. They were happy times. When things got tough because of Simone, he suggested giving up work, and I fell for it. Then he suggested he got a transfer for work and we could move. When I agreed, I didn't think he meant 200 miles away. So that was goodbye job and goodbye Simone. He said I could keep in touch with her, but that was hard because when we moved, that was when things changed. We weren't in the new house for long when I got the first punch. I'd been on the phone to Simone and we'd managed to have a bit of a laugh, but as soon as I finished, he took the phone away from me, walked silently up the stairs with it and put it in the safe. Then he came downstairs, looked at me and just punched me in the head. It was like a Tom and Jerry moment. I saw stars and I had a funny taste in my mouth. As I went down, he hit me a few more times. I thought he was going to kill me. I had to stay in bed for 2 days and I was peeing blood. I couldn't hear in my left ear. I still can't, in fact. He said I'd be fine. I didn't need the hospital. He didn't always beat me that badly. Often he used more subtle methods. Never hits me in the face, always on my body. Often pinched me under my arms. I don't mean a subtle pinch, I mean a hard squeeze between his fingers, and he didn't let go. He always looked straight into my eyes as he did it, though. So I looked forward to him going to work every day and dreaded him coming home. When COVID started, I didn't worry too much about it as I didn't go out. There was a benefit to that locked door. But I'll never forget the moment when they started to talk about furloughing workers, and then he came home one night and said he wasn't going back. I felt sick. I kept hoping he'd get it. That was when the brick came out of the safe. He normally just had it out if he wanted to do stuff to me. in bed, stuff I didn't like. He'd put the brick at the side of the bed. He never said anything, but I knew. I knew I had to do whatever he said, or I'd get the brick. So once he was furloughed, he kept the brick out all the time, moved it around with him. He'd run me a bath and I had to get in, and he'd bring that brick in. He'd like to hold me under the water just with my chin. I never knew if I'd drown. It was frightening underwater when you can't get your breath and wonder if you're ever going to come up. I just never knew when he'd start. Sometimes I'd just be hoovering, he'd just come behind me and, just do it. He didn't even switch the hoover off. So this morning I saw him drop off to sleep while he was watching Homes Under the Hammer. He didn't often fall asleep, and I thought to myself, it's now or never. The brick was on the table next to him, so I tipped over to the side of him. I knew I couldn't make a sound, because if he saw me, that would be it for me. I lifted the brick as quietly as I could and smashed it onto his head. I heard the crunch of the bone as the corner went in, but I was terrified I wouldn't kill him, so I hit him again, just to be sure. Blood went everywhere, all over me, all over the settee. I thought to myself, that'll take some getting out. I stood looking at him, with the brick in my hand in case he moved again. But he didn't. He just sat there at an angle with blood pouring out of him. I panicked, as I didn't know the combination to the safe, and that's where the keys were, and I just wondered how I was going to get out. So I looked at the brick. It was covered in blood, bits of skin and hair, but there was nothing else for it. It was going to be my route out. It was going to go through the glass in the front door, and I'd be out and free. And suddenly, I felt in a strange way happy.